Welcome back, everybody. Today I'm going to be breaking down and reviewing the 10th game in the Spyro franchise, Spyro Shadow Legacy. This game was created in 2005 and was developed by Amaze Entertainment and published by Vivendi Universal Games. This is the 5th handheld and the first DS game in the franchise. This game is quite different. It has the new mechanic to grow your magical abilities by defeating enemies and gaining XP. So this video will be based on my efforts with that. The game starts off after defeating Red in Hero's Tale and has Spyro waking up in Dragon Shores. Hunter is here and is jokingly making fun of Spyro for locking himself inside his room. Once you find the key, you can unlock it and make your way out. Once downstairs, Artigan asks if you can use your flame to start the stove, just seemingly to show you how to use the controls for the game. Afterwards, you head to the boat and Hunter asks you to locate Bianca. You find her taking everything in on a cliff before leaving the island. Once Spyro drifted to sleep, a strange series of clouds rolled in and a blast of energy rushed towards Spyro, pushing everyone into the Shadow Realm. Inside the Shadow Realm, your attacks are useless against the enemies here. Thomas immediately contacts you telepathically and tells you to head to the portal. It will bring him to the dojo. After going through the portal, you can find Thomas underneath a beam. You can use your flame to free him. He will then lead you to the temple. He then tries to go free the other elders, but just can't. Thomas then gives Spyro the Shadow Stone, which allows him to phase through the real world and the Shadow Realm. He alerts you to go free Sensei as he can help. Once back outside, you have to flame 2 torches to enter the cave. After getting through the cave, you can enter the house that Sensei is in. Relentlessly, Sensei teaches Spyro how to use the horn jab. This now allows you to attack the creatures in the Shadow Realm. After defeating all 3, Sensei's barrier is now removed and he is free. By touching Sensei, he is free to return to the normal world. Right before being transported back, Sensei teaches you to do the tail hammer move. We then return to the dojo where we need to free the other 4 elders. We can first get Magnus. We can free him by defeating 3 creatures in front of his barrier. We then run into Astor, who we can free by defeating 3 creatures. Then in the house is Cho Lee, who, like the rest, just needs to be freed by defeating 3 creatures. Then inside the last of the homes is Titan, who once again can be freed by defeating 3 creatures. After freeing all 4 and leveling up, we then return to the temple. The elders then discuss what actually happened here, and most of the blame was casted on Red, who was defeated in the prior game. We also gained the ability to teleport by using our stylus and drawing a triangle. This can teleport us to nearby paths. We have 2 skill boosts we can gain, and this time they tell us to talk to Titan, who teaches us how to do a double jump. Thankfully, this was probably the most annoying part of the game so far, so being able to double jump is very, very nice. We then head down south to enter our next area in the game, Dragon Village. Here they have Old One Horn trapped. By defeating 2 of them, he can be freed. You can free Ember by defeating 4 enemies. You can free Caitlyn by defeating 2, Conan by defeating 3, Flame by defeating 3, and 4 to free Zink. After defeating them, you can return to the temple to level up. Thomas teaches you the ability to move things with your magic, and Titan teaches you how to use the battering ram charge attack. This can help remove boulders in your way. We now move to finish the quest in this area. Help finding Zink's stuffed octopus. The octopus is sitting on one of the houses. We run into this strange character who tells us about some trinkets near him and vanishes. This is where we find sunglasses and the stuffed octopus. We then return to Conan and return the octopus for XP. After talking with Old One Horn, he needed help opening the doors. You just go around town and find the switches to open it. After doing so, we are given a relic. We then find Flame, who needs help clearing out the boulders. We do this for him as well. Lastly, we talk to Caitlyn, who needs help finding the dragon eggs again. This is a mission that will last the whole game. We then rotate back into Dragon Shores. Here they have Mr. Thunderlick trapped. He can be freed by defeating 4 enemies. Lard is also trapped. He can be freed as well by defeating 4 enemies. We then go back into the house to find Artigan trapped. Defeating 3 of them will free him. Defeating 2 enemies will free Fawnsworthy. And lastly, 3 to free Brigid. After freeing them all, we reconvene by the fountain to find out someone stole this talisman that goes on the fountain. We are then enlisted to find it. We also leveled up during this time, so we return to the temple first. Using one of our skills, Titan teaches us how to glide, which is so nice. Cho Lee then teaches us how to use the shock spell to help defeat stronger enemies. We then return to Dragon Shores where we help Artigan out by cleaning up the kitchen. We then help Lard find his lotion that was locked up in a room. Brigid needs us to deliver an invitation to Miss Funderlick for a locals-only luau. After that, we locate the talisman and head back into Dragon Village to head to our next location. Once we return to Dragon Village, we use our movement spell to make it through the west gate. After going through and heading south, we are then going through 3 different quick passageways to lead us into Big Forest, which is actually the home of the Moneybags family. We can free them by defeating 3 enemies for Miss Moneybags, 2 for Maxwell, 3 for Mr. Moneybags, and 3 for Marshall and Marvin. For the quest, we have to help Maxwell find boil weevils. We have to help Miss Moneybags get rid of the weeds, which is really easy, we just have to flame them. Then for Moneybags, we just have to restart the conveyor belts by turning on the switches. Doing so will give you a relic. Alright, I just want to put a disclaimer on some of these names. There's no way I'm going to say them right. We then head upwards into the Mountain of Magic. Here they have Panthantus trapped. We can free him by defeating 4 enemies. 5 for Longorian and Past Mole. After freeing them, they all meet together, worried that they'll be blamed for this. Then some accusations of red starts to float around again. Past Mole then needs us to go just below their area and light the crystal torches. We did also level up here, so we returned to the temple first to learn Sensei's Chi attack, and then return to help Polison find Gorgon's eye. We then return south and head west to enter our next location. We are now entering Clifftown, which has us now using our Chi attacks before attacking just to break the armor of the enemies. They have captured Pablo. He can be released by defeating 3 enemies, Sophie by defeating 2, Bandit by defeating 4, Francisco by defeating 2, and Isabel by defeating 2. After freeing them all, we are brought together to discuss what really happened, where they feel like since they're brand new in town, they are surely to be blamed. Bandit decides he will journey to Dragon Village with Spyro to give the dragons a gift so they will understand it wasn't them. After taking them the gift, you are free to return to Clifftown to finish out the remaining quest. After returning, Bandit needs us to return to Dragon Village again to give Ember a love letter. Afterwards, we talk with Isabel, who needs help finding grub, boil, weevil juice, and a worm. We help Pablo with digging further, but beforehand we return to the temple. Thomas teaches us how to make our spells stronger, and Aster teaches us how to make our flames stronger. We are now able to fight the Shadow Minion. This battle took me more tries than I care to admit. It wasn't really super hard, but just couldn't figure out how to dodge his first attack. But after dodging it, you can then flame his ice sword to damage him, and then switch to the Shadow Realm and just repeat the same process by spamming your charge attack on him. After defeating him, you're given the ability to use your Ice Breath. You can then pay 300 gems for a one-way ride to the Avalar Realms. We then get a little cutscene showing Spyro sailing towards Avalar, and then showing a glimpse of Hunter and Professor both trapped. We then arrive in Savannah to find Hunter. He can be freed by defeating 5 enemies. Adama can be freed by defeating 5 enemies. Nima by defeating 4. And Kazia and Kelo by defeating 3. After freeing them, we are all conversating when Hunter tells us his dad is sick. Kazi then blames Spyro and Hunter for this mess and throws them both in jail. You can easily get out by using your magic on the stone behind you. You then talk to Hunter, who tells you to give this little note to his dad and to find Nima to help distract Kazi. In order to get Nima's help, you have to help move the stones so she can make it down. You have to arrange them like stepping stones almost. You then have to return to Hunter for proof Hunter sent him. He then gives you an arrow to give Nima. She then agrees to help. You have to move discreetly or Kazi will send you back in jail. After returning to the Shadow Realm, you can glide over and phase back in right next to Akello and show him the letter. Akello then requests you go over and get medicine from Adama. She needs sulfur powder, pine needles, and mercury. After collecting it and giving it to Akilo quickly frees Hunter and arrests Kazi. We then head to Treetops, which has Zoe trapped. You can free her by defeating 4 enemies. It also has Trina trapped, which you can release her by defeating 2 enemies. Ant by defeating 3, and Aqua by defeating 3. After freeing them, Zoe asks you to help them find the leaves of Kerfuffle. After doing so, you can help Trina by buying Zoe's favorite ice cream from the store, Aqua by putting out all the flames, and Ant by getting Zoe's wand back. There's a knight and 3 armadillos you have to defeat, and you'll get Zoe's wand in a chest. Before heading to a new location, we did level up and return to the Elders. Titan teaches us an even stronger supercharge. We then head back to Caitlin, and she teaches us how to turn into an egg since we have 30 eggs. We then head into Skilo's Badlands, probably my favorite area in Spyro Ripto's Rage. As usual, the whole gang is trapped. We can free Uga by defeating 3 enemies, Gronk by defeating 2, Lumpy by defeating 3, and Dirt by defeating 3. After freeing them all, they blame Lumpy for the bad deeds happening and for taking the Booga Booga mask. They sentenced him to the Zoo of Death. Gronk then sends us to help find the mask. We then find out Uga actually hid the mask and blamed Lumpy. We then help Lumpy cross the lava by moving the rocks over. He then gives us a relic for it. We then help Dirt find bones to help make an altar. We then progress forward to find the professor trapped. He says if we destroy the nasty beast, he should be freed. We then walk in to meet the fire minion who tells us we won't defeat him like his weakling brother. All we really need to do is dodge his sword and use our ice breath on it. And then do the same thing in the Shadow Realm by dodging his weapon and using Supercharge and ramming into him. This one was much easier for me since it's the same as the Shadow Minion. We then gain the ability to use the Cyclone spell. The Professor then takes us up to the Forgotten Realms. After arriving in the Forgotten Realms, we make a quick detour back to the Elders to upgrade our magic and how to use the Wing Shield. For some reason my game glitched here and I couldn't return, so I had to make a whole new save file, which really sucked. We are now in Bunny Bayou, and in order to free Bianca, we need to take out 6 enemies. She then disappears and says she will return. 6 for Teresa, 7 for Lucia, and 4 for Bruno. We then return to the normal world to help blast some rocks for Bruno to help find a part. Then we help Lucia with her chicken problem. Lastly, we help Teresa by moving her closer and helping her off the dock. We then head north when the professor comes over and lets us know everyone in Moleville is gone. On the way over to Moleville, you can buy the ice cream for the fairies. When in Moleville, it will take defeating 6 enemies to save Blink, 5 for 6, and 6 for Willard. We then have to find the magic detector and return it to Sis so she can help find the source of the magic and help locate Bianca. We can also give Willard those glasses we found way back in Dragon Village. After finding the detector, she asks to find the transducer. After finding both, she tells us there is 2 readings of strong magic beyond the wall. Blink then goes and makes a way in, but is quickly defeated. Before going in, we return to Clifftown to give Francisco the digging gloves, and then return to the temple for one last power-up. Cho Li gives us another power-up of our magic, and Sensei teaches us Horn Toss. We then confront Red, who has Bianca trapped. All we have to do is use our shock spell twice to defeat him. Bianca lets us know Red was just a pawn, and tells us the sorcerer is far more powerful. She says she found out the machine he is building is going to permanently trap them in the Shadow Realm and drain the magic from the world. Red then admits he wants to atone for his sins and teaches us how to use the Banish spell. We are then able to teleport to the Sorcerer's Land. After teleporting, the stranger is there and lets us know his plans and talks about a dragon wielding magic powerful enough to bend reality itself. And if he's interested in learning more, to meet him in his home. Now this next part is basically just a massive gauntlet of enemies. There's just a ton of tough enemies here you have to mow down to get to the Sorcerer's Lair. After making it there, he offers to make Spyro his apprentice. You have the option to agree or disagree. If you click agree, he will just call you too weak and heads inside. Once you have all the relics, you can meet him inside for the final battle. After entering, the stranger quickly turns into that dragon he spoke about earlier. You have to use your spell to move the platform back up after it falls. When the dragon attacks you, you can use your banish spells to send his attacks away and hit him. You then rush towards him and supercharge him to take damage. You then repeat this process 2 more times. After doing so, he is finally defeated. He does escape, sadly. We then see the post-credits. There's a huge gathering to celebrate Spyro. Everyone who we freed showed up to show support. Red was also able to return to the fold and made his peace with everyone but Titan, but now spends his time teaching magic to younger dragons. It then shows Thomas and the other dragons preparing for the sorcerer's next attack as they knew he'd return, but this time they will be ready. So I was pretty nervous for this game, considering this was the first DS game and considered the last game until the soft reboot. For being a handheld game, I thought it was extremely unique. Something I really admire about this whole franchise is its ability to adapt and make a different style of game. This was the first game with a level system where you can gain experience from defeating enemies. You didn't use those skill points to decide what you wanted to improve on. I did feel like this game was quite easy to beat, especially the bosses. It was really cool to see a lot of returning characters, something the series always does an amazing job with. They also introduced new places with the Mountain of Magic and Clifftown. It was also neat to see how Red, one of our strongest antagonists so far, was so easily manipulated by the sorcerer. My overall rating for this game would be a 7 out of 10. I thought it was just an extremely unique game. I really enjoyed the leveling up system and the quest. Just felt like the game was extremely easy to complete. The graphics and soundtracks were amazing though for being a DS game. The next game in the series is Spyro: A New Beginning for the PS2, which is considered a reboot for the franchise. So be on the lookout for that gameplay. If you made it this far, please consider dropping a like, a comment on what you thought about Spyro Shadow Legacy, and a sub if you enjoy this type of content. Thanks for watching and have a great day.